has been really, really tough. But I think it's all about education. I think people need to know about late effects. I think people know, or just generally, people think, oh, so, my friend's got cancer, they're going to have 6 months of treatment and then it's fine. They're back to the person they were before. It's not. I think all of us in some form, whether it's emotionally, physically, all spectrums, it changes us, cancer.
Yeah, every treatment regime is going to have its own late effects, and through the research there was some really common themes. People talking about like pain and tiredness. Some people talking about like a lot of mental health stuff as well, trying to like get around the trauma of treatment and lots of painful procedures, like lots of anxiety and depression, anxiety about the future, like what's going to happen to me.
I remember I was really upset in 3rd grade because I had to miss the class Christmas party because I had to go to my late effects clinic. But now being more mature, I've had to have 48 hours EEGs on my brain to make sure that it's not something that we need even more help on, if that makes sense. It's testing. I'll do it once every 4 years so they can compare, but you walk around, I still have to go to school, walk around with a bunch of neurons on your face and a wrap around to make sure it doesn't fall off. And obviously everyone was looking at it.
And when we talk about possible late effects with him, we were told that it was highly likely because removal of the site, and that being the tumor, is of utmost importance for long-term survival. So he would ultimately need a knee disarticulation, which is an amputation from the knee down, which would then require a prosthetic for the remainder of his life. Initially, unfortunately, because of radiation therapy, we were also notified that he wouldn't be able to get a prosthetic until radiation was over because radiation causes inflammation. Now, worse than that, inflammation goes down, you get measured for the prosthetic, but worse than that, we were notified that one of the late-term effects would be his growth plates would be stunted or frozen. I'm not sure the proper medical term. And that would cause him to have it wouldn't produce the hormone or whatever the growth plates produce for your bones to actually grow correctly.
I can still walk and everything, but it takes I can still walk good and everything, but this left hand is like the one I don't really move that much. I don't really move that much, but I have to try to move it more. This is the one the right one, the one I write and move more than the left. And my face, you see how this side looks different than this side? So that's what caused.
The main late effect that I will have throughout my life is my lungs being weakened with all the cancer and chemo that I have.
What we need to know is we need people to understand, and the more we shout about it and the more we tell people, is to understand that people who go through childhood cancer live with the effects for the rest of their life. That's what, and people don't know that, and it's people like me and you who are keep shouting about it and keep telling people, and it's helping. So we just keep going and keep spreading awareness.
We can really, unite and as childhood cancer survivors say, like, hey, this is real. This does not happen to me. This happens to others, and that's the intention of Behold Be Gold, uniting others who experience these late effects, and spreading awareness about it, man. So, does anybody know what late effects are? Anybody? Late effects are problems related to cancer treatment that occur or persist after treatment is completed, also known as late effects. So now that we went over the definition of what late effects are, and you're a little bit more familiarized now, I am going to go over some of the most common late effects that we usually see in childhood cancer survivors. These are a lot of them. However, I'll just briefly go over some. I'm not going to get into depth about them because there'll be other videos later on for that where we can get more specific and see how these late effects can impact an individual later on through their lives. So bone loss, brain changes, endocrine system changes, eye problems, hearing loss, heart problems, joint changes, lung problems, lymphedema, mouth changes, and second primary cancers. Also, I want to mention that these late effects could also mean psychosocial late effects. So we'll talk more about that also, but it's not just like clear-cut, late effects of physical aspects of it. It's also psychosocial. But yeah, those are, in a nutshell, some of the main ones that we can be on the lookout for, that we can prevent later on for our lives or get medical help in, or just going to ongoing follow-up care. Yeah, those are the ones we can look out for.